What is up, guys? RSC6414 here, back with another video. This time I'm reviewing TNA Impact Wrestling. It just actually ended about a minute ago, and got everything, and I'm ready to go. So I hope you guys enjoy the review, and I'm going to go ahead and get to it. First thing we have, show's pretty good, better than the past couple weeks. Sort of a pretty good, solid Impact, I thought, better than the previous 2 weeks, and some pretty good matches. So here we go. First thing we have is a promo with Sting and Angle from the main event Mafia. They say that tonight there's going to be a new member, and he will be announced tonight, and everybody will find out who the third member of the main event Mafia is. Sting and Angle being the first two. So that takes us right into the night, gets us started off. First thing we have is Suicide versus Chris Sabin versus Kenny King, triple threat for X Division title. Great match, best match of the night in my opinion. Really enjoyed it. Probably a 10-minute match, back and forth. Um, Sabin hits the Hail Sabin. Kenny King, or he's pinning Kenny King, 1, 2, and then Suicide breaks the pin up for a near fall. And then trying to think what happens after that. Then when Sabin pins Kenny King, Suicide throws, or when he's pinning, excuse me, when Chris Sabin is pinning, sorry, had a little drew blank there. When Sabin's pinning Kenny King for the Hail Sabin, near fall broken up by Suicide. Suicide throws Sabin through the ropes, and then Kenny King hits an Enziguri, rolls Suicide up for a near fall, then Suicide rolls Kenny King up for a 1, 2, 3. He holds on to Kenny King's tights and the ropes, and Suicide wins via pinfall. Knew this was not surprised because TNA spoiled it on their website today. Suicide's going to be a new TNA X Division champ, and there was going to be Suicide under the mask like he was getting revealed. Hulk Hogan comes out when the match is over, when Suicide's celebrating, holding the X Division title up. He cheated, so it was obvious that Suicide was not the good Suicide. He was the sort of heel Suicide, I should say, like the old days when Sin Cara was evil and there was a good Sin Cara. That was dumb, but this was not the same thing. TJ Perkins, the real Suicide, has been Suicide for years now, comes out holding his arm with Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan says TJ Perkins was jumped and in the back, and his suit was taken, and that this guy currently in Suicide is not the real Suicide. And if he doesn't reveal himself, he's going to strip him of his X Division title. Suicide retreats, and then throughout the night, Bully Ray's asking where Suicide is. Are you Suicide? Are you Suicide? Thinking he may be in the main event Mafia, or may cash in on the chance for the World Heavyweight Championship. So that happened throughout the night. A really good match. Enjoyed it. But yeah, Suicide new X Division champion, and I'm happy with that. And we would soon find out who Suicide is later in the night. I'll tell you guys. The next thing we have is Adam Schreiner, Big O. Most of you know him off True Long Island Story, Z True Long Island Online Story, and sorry, somebody was calling me, but most of you know him from Z True Long Island Story. Um, but like I was saying, sorry, I got thrown off guard when somebody called me. But like I was saying, he was on Z True Long Island Story. He's Big O, and so yeah, this was a gut check against I forget the guy's name, Ryan Howe. This is basically a squash match. Big O just body slams Ryan Howe and beats him with the 1-2-3. Big O wins this match. Nothing more to say. Throws Ryan Howe around the ring. Ryan Howe gets a little bit of offense in, but Big O wins. And yeah, sorry, somebody called, so it threw me off guard for a second. So I apologize. Next thing we have is Mickey James versus Velvet Sky for the TNA Knockouts Championship. Pretty good match. I wanted Mickey to win and retain. Back and forth, Velvet gets put in the submission, makes Mickey James puts Velvet Sky in the submission, makes Velvet tap, and Mickey James retains the TNA Knockouts Championship. It was back and forth. There were a couple near falls, but there wasn't too much to point out. Mickey James, like I said, makes Velvet tap and retains the Knockouts Championship. After the match, Velvet Sky gets interviewed by Christy Hemme and gets starts bawling, sort of like the Kalen thing, how she laid everything on the line and wanted to win the Knockouts Championship back, and just sort of cries, sort of similar story. But like I said, Smash was pretty good. There was a near fall when somebody hit a DDT, and that's really all. And a couple near falls and then a submission. Mickey James retains. So good match. After the match was sort of whatever. I've seen it before, and sometimes it's annoying, but this was just whatever. Next thing we have Magnus versus Bobby Roode, Bound for Glory series match. Magnus leads right now, 10 points. Bobby Roode has 0. Second best match of the night, in my opinion. Some could argue it was the best match, real close. I enjoyed it, back and forth. Bobby Roode kept going at Magnus, couple near falls. But Magnus ends up winning with the sit-down bomb for the 1-2-3, and Magnus wins. Back and forth match, like I said, really good. Some near falls, some roll-ups. There was a spine buster for a near fall. Bobby Roode delivered that, and a neck breaker. Bobby Roode hit a spine buster on Magnus for a near fall, and then a neck breaker on Magnus for a near fall. But other than that, Magnus got some offense in, Bobby Roode got some offense in. Just a solid, pretty good wrestling match that ended via pinfall, and Magnus picks up the 7 points via pinfall. He has 17 currently, leading Bound for Glory series, and Bobby Roode remains with 0. Unfortunately, I wanted Roode to win, but I'm cool with Magnus too. So good match. Next thing we have is James Storm and Gunner talking about tag team champs, and then Robbie E and Jesse Godderz with Tara come out. They come out. They just start exchanging words. Robbie E says that they're the bro-mans, and James Storm jokes with him like, the bro-mans, you and Jesse Godderz, you, Robbie E and Jesse Godderz are in a bromance. I was like, oh god, this segment's terrible. Segment was terrible. I didn't like it at all. I just wanted to see a tag match. I don't need to see these jokes or anything. Jesse Godderz, they call Tara a butterface. Jesse Godderz gets offended, and then Jesse Godderz is about to do something. Gunner takes him out, and then Robbie E rolls out of the ring with Jesse Godderz and Tara, and that's basically it. Not a great segment, actually an awful segment. Would have rather seen a tag match, but that's just my opinion. Next thing we have Anderson versus Samoa Joe for another Bound for Glory series match. Was expecting pretty big things for this that didn't turn out to be as good, but it was still a decent match. Not as good as the Magnus Bobby Roode match earlier on in the night, but um, just it was a shorter match. I thought it could have been better, but aces and eights, and oh yeah, Samoa Joe currently had 2 points, and then Mr. Anderson had 7 going in this match in the Bound for Glory series standings. Samoa Joe and just they were exchanging some blows, some punches to the face, I should say, and then the aces and eights come out to the ring. They distract Samoa Joe for a few seconds. Mr. Anderson rolls him up for a near fall, and then hits him with a DDT for a near fall as well when the aces and eights distracted him for a near fall. Then here comes Kurt Angle and Sting coming down the ring, clearing house with all the aces and eights members from the ring, takes them out. They retreat, and then Samoa Joe puts Mr. Anderson in a submission maneuver, and Mr. Anderson taps. So yeah, it was called the Naked Choice Lock or something. Seared Naked Choice Lock or something like that. I can't remember, but all I know is it was a submission maneuver that made Mr. Anderson tap via submission. 10 points for Samoa Joe. He now has 12 points. Mr. Anderson remains at 7. And Samoa Joe moves up to second in the standings. Pretty good match. I enjoyed it. Then after Bully Ray comes out, Hulk Hogan comes out, and then Suicide comes out. They're like, they're talking about some kinds of things. They're talking, and then Suicide reveals himself as Austin Aries, and then he says he's going to cash in for a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship up against Bully Ray. Bully Ray's shocked, Hogan's shocked, so I don't know what they're going to do with the X Division Championship. But Austin Aries reveals himself as the Suicide that won the X Division title that night, is the evil Suicide, and we find out that he's going to challenge Bully Ray for the World Heavyweight Championship and not keep the X Division. Decent show, overall grade, 6 out of 10. Pretty good show, above average, better than the past few weeks. So yeah, overall grade, 6 out of 10. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Check out my other videos and subscribe. Thanks, guys.